never studied acting. This is a bad story. You're not going to like this. I went to 4 years of college, and I went and I did study drama, but more in the academic sense at Catholic University. I married Chris Sarandon at 20. First guy I slept with, that's how grateful I was.
Well, it's important though, that's the framework of Catholic University,
and it was the framework of Catholic University, and he was 6 years older, graduate student. He knew everything about black and white films and poetry and everything. Anyway, he was a really nice guy, and after I graduated, he went to the Long Wharf Theater in Connecticut. Someone saw him there doing a play, and they asked him to come audition for an agent and a manager, and he needed someone to do a scene with him, and I did a scene with him, and then he went away to do summer stock, and I followed like the good little wife that I was, and then we went to New York that fall, and they had been looking for somebody to do a movie called Joe, which was a low-budget feature film, the first feature film that wasn't pornographic that this company had done. And it was their foray into a serious film. And I went, and it was John Alvinson directing, although he wasn't in the Directors Guild yet. And they'd been looking for somebody to play this part, and they asked me to improvise, and they explained to me what that was, and I did an improvisation. I did a couple of, I mean, seriously, acting is not rocket science. And I did it, and they left the room, and then they came back, and they told me that I had the job. And I thought, okay, well, that was pretty easy. And then the movie was a huge hit. And I think that when I see it now, I just had this sense not to try to act. And I mean, I think that I then got on a soap opera where I got to learn a lot about working with cameras, because that's basically theater and film. And I really just had on-the-job training and was lucky to work with a lot of people. And on the soap opera, I was the girl everything happened to. I was on it for a year, and my crises increased. It's very hard work, but you know, what did I know? I was like 21 at that point. And I just kept working, and I thought it was a riot, you know. I thought, wow, I pay off my school debt. And then after a while, I thought, well, it seems like this is what I do. You know, I guess I'm an actor. And I took it, I mean, I was very responsible. But I think that, any kind of artistic endeavor and any kind of life endeavor, the more playful you can be, the more interesting it is, and the more surprised you are. And acting is really such a wonderful way to constantly be surprised if you can surrender to it. And so that part of it really appealed to me, and I didn't know where it was going, and I kept thinking that, you know, now sometimes I wish I'd taken it a little more seriously, but it worked for me that way. And I think that by doing, I just eventually, you know, and I did Broadway, and I did plays in small theaters and big theaters, and but it is just listening and reacting. Although Tony Perkins once said to me, you know, being real is great, but it's not always interesting. So when you see people like Jack Nicholson, or you see Walken, or Sean, or you know, Vanessa Redgrave, or I mean, there's so many wonderful actors. Sometimes people are just so interesting to watch, no matter what they do.
They've got like the extra ingredient, you know.
Yeah, and maybe the camera loves them, yeah. Or and it doesn't have to do with being smart. It doesn't have to do necessarily with being beautiful. It doesn't necessarily. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I'm really glad that I've been able to make a living. I have one son now who's a director, trying to be a director, is directing, and a daughter who's been acting since she was 8, with some frustration, you know, and I keep saying, why is this your fallback job? Are you crazy? You know, you're not having a good time. But she works. She said, well, I just keep working, Mom. What else can I do? I was like, okay.
I heard you say one time in